Okay, so this what I call messaging matrix document is a place for you to store all your ideas, sort of content ideas, any quotes that you've gotten from testimonials, all the language and ideas that's relevant for your particular offer. And it's to help you to have in one place all that information so that we can then take that and transpose it into a content plan. Now, there's a few things that you just need to be really clear on before you begin. Obviously, you need to be really sure about who your ideal client is. In the copywriting terms, we talk about the one reader. So, the person who's reading the content that you're putting out, that you're specifically keeping in mind and that you're talking to. So you need to make sure you're super clear on that. You also need to be clear on what you don't help them with so that you don't start writing loads of content around stuff that's sort of irrelevant or you just don't need to do. For example, if you are, offering a program that helps people with accountability, you don't need to, you don't want people coming to you who don't have a good marketing strategy already, for example, because if they don't have the marketing strategy in place, then all the accountability in the world isn't going to help them to move forward because they don't really know what they're doing. So you've got to get clear on basically what you don't help them with, what they already know how to do, or whatever, they've gone through a certain journey already and now they're ready for you. So you need to get clear on that. That's part of this sort of one reader thing. And also their values so that you can make sure that, because it's really important, if you want to, particularly with coaching and therapy, you want to connect with people that share your values. So you need to get clear on what you want their values to be to make sure they're a match to your values. And that means you can bring sort of personal stuff into your content to make it more authentic. And of course, it's going to repel people, but it's going to repel the people who aren't a good fit for you emotionally, because that's important, as well as all the kind of sort of marketing ideas behind it as well. And the other thing you need to get clear on is your one big outcome. Now, I know people push back on this a bit, but essentially there are a few buckets that, like psychologically as humans, that these pains that we will pay money to find the solutions for. And they generally fall into like 4 or 5 main outcomes, things like money. If you can help someone make money or save money, that's going to be a big outcome. To do with their health, to do with relationships, and to do with their status, and to like how they feel about themselves or how they feel in relation to their peer group. Now, that's not to say that all your posts have to be about those outcomes, but it's just for you to get clear on where you fit in that kind of sort of the hierarchy of needs that people have. And that, again, that will help with your messaging and with exactly who it is that you want to target. Right, so moving down, so this is, if you can see here on the left, I've broken it down. So we've got where your clients are struggling right now. So this is their starting point, otherwise known as pain points. And I've broken them out into fears and frustrations because commonly I've seen that there is that kind of distinction, that there's some things they're afraid of and other things are just annoying them and they're really frustrated by. And so you can separate them out for sort of clarity around what you're going to talk about with your content. We've then obviously got the benefits, desires, or outcomes, whatever language you want to use around that. Now, this isn't necessarily the one big outcome. You've got that as your, big thing that people want. But, underneath that, there's all these mini wins that you can talk about that you're going to help your clients have, all these little breakthroughs. And, these are the things that you can really dig into and talk about in lots of depth and detail that is going to connect with people, because what a lot of marketing has done is with those big outcomes, and people focus on here's how you'll make money if you do this with me, or you'll save all this time if you do this with me. And yep, that's the important thing, and that's the thing that's implied, and sometimes it's explicit, but there's lots of mini wins around the work you do that you can call out in your marketing copy. Then we've got their objections. So this is really important. It can feel sometimes like negative feedback, depending on how you gather these objections. But the fact of the matter is that people are skeptical. They are going to need to be convinced that what you're saying you can do is something that you can do, that you can give them the outcome that they want. So you really need to think about what these objections are going to be, whether it's money, whether it's time, whether it's something else. And then once you know what the objections are, then you can deal with them through your content by calling them out and saying, hey, look, I know that this is probably what you're thinking, and here's why it's not a problem. And these are really powerful posts, these objection handling posts, because people feel like you're reading their mind. They feel like, okay, you're not pretending that this isn't a potential problem. You're approaching it head on, and you're giving me an honest solution and explaining why I don't need to worry about this objection. So you definitely don't avoid, this is a really important part of it that I think often gets overlooked. Then we've got the posts about the why you. So this is at that point where people are ready to buy, but they just want to check that you're definitely the right person to deliver the program or service that they are ready to purchase. And so these are things around, your expertise, your background, any qualifications you've got. The educate authority stuff are just posts where you can show that you know your stuff. And there's lots of different ways to structure those posts. This is the kind of the trust factor. All of this is the know, like, and trust factor, but the trust factor bit is, that you know what you're talking about and that you are who you say you are. And so obviously any qualifications you've got will help with that, but you can also do that with just talking about what you know, and people can instinctively tell if you are an authority in your subject by the way that you talk about it. And then proof and testimonials, you need to bring them front and center as well, because other people saying that what you've done has worked for them is the most powerful stuff you can have. Now, the why now stuff is their trigger point. So it's like, why did they decide to hire you now? Or why would they, why past clients made the decision to hire you at this point, or at the point that they did, sorry. What was the thing? What triggered them to take the action? So this is something you need to get out of feedback and testimonials, or by looking through what, you can do it through looking at what stuff on your competitors' websites. You can look at it through reviews on books, stuff like that. Writing posts around that will help people who are really, really close you'll get them over the edge. So that's your kind of low-hanging fruit. And then obviously time-sensitive offers as well. If you're doing something like a program or a membership, or you've got stuff open for a little amount of time, make sure that people are aware of it. I guess this is commonly the kind of launch stuff when you're going through a launch cycle. You need to make sure you feed that in. So this stuff might not be there all the time, and you just need to feed it in when you've got something going on. And then features. So the features are the stuff about how you deliver it. How long is it going to take? How much is it going to cost? What are they going to get? What does it look like? Are there calls? All the nuts and bolts of the delivery of the thing that you're selling. So the features are important. I'm not going to say they're not, but a lot of people focus on these too much at the expense of all this other stuff. And the features are really only important to people who are ready to buy. So, it's why I've put them with these. It's like all this stuff up here, all these struggles and objections, and all that is helping people make a decision that they're ready for the thing that you're offering. The why you stuff is then saying, okay, you're ready, you want to choose me, and why now, and the features is just helping them to get all the information they need to make an informed decision. So with this document, I would encourage you to do a mix of brainstorming and also speaking to your ideal clients. And the way I use it is, I would do, brainstorming. Maybe when I'm out walking, I'll do some voice notes to myself, or, depending, however brainstorming works for you, mind maps, whatever it takes. Just kind of get it out of your head what you think all these things are, and also then go through any testimonials you've got, do customer research. You can you can spy on what other people are doing. There's lots of different ways to get this information, and you just want to copy and paste it all in here. Give each thing that you find, each sentence, each thought, each idea, each piece of feedback, give it a bullet point just so you're keeping them as separate thoughts, and just keep adding to this as time goes on. And then in the next video, I'm going to show you how to take the content that you save into here and put it into Trello so that you can start creating a content plan that will never run dry.